All right, today is October 5th, 2013. Let's take a look at some of the momentum stock, the stock that was on the move last week and the gold and silver ETF. First of all, let's take a look at the gold. In this video, I'm using, two chart. The first one is the daily, and then the bottom one is the weekly. And on the weekly, the yellow line is essentially the 10-week moving average. That's equivalent to a 50-day moving average, and then on the green is the 40-week moving average. That's equivalent to a 200-day moving average. And on the top here, the aqua is the 20 EMA, and then the green is the 50-day moving average, and the red is 200-day moving average. So you can see on the gold here, it's been trying to get back up about this level here, which is near the 138 area, and it came back and kind of touched base with this 123, 124. So essentially down at this level here on the daily. And right now it's kind of testing that. You could see that it also could be forming some sort of like a head and shoulder pattern if it break below, this particular baseline here. So you kind of keep an eye on gold here. I think the gold is still in a downtrend. You can see that this is still trending down. And if it's get above this 140, essentially get back above the 200-day moving average, then maybe we could consider gold might have a possibility of reversing that, this trend here. But right now, essentially still looking at gold kind of hovering around this particular support, and possibly also come back down and we test this, this particular low here, near the, this level somewhere around this 114, 115 area. And so. And right now, also silver is not doing that well. As also, you can see that again, silver came up and tried to tag this somewhere around the 24 area, and right now it's also coming back down. Although that it might be making a little bit of a trend line, try to come back up at this particular level here. That we might see a little support somewhere around the $20 level. But until it get back up above this, essentially the 24 area, the silver is still also, in a downtrend, because you see that you need to get above this area here, come up and fill this gap. And if we could do that, which is somewhere around that, 25, 26 area. And if we could do that, then maybe we could set up a series of higher high, higher low. Then it could be possibly reversing the present trend. And let's take a look at this stock and start off with Apple. Apple on a weekly basis is still holding above this double bottom. It came back down to just this pivot level here. And right now it's still holding this, and it could be, essentially, still trying to establish a higher high, higher low. And right now, we're still looking for it to come back up around this level here, which is about the 513 area. But like I said, it still need to get above this, essentially the 492. I believe this is about the 497. And if I zoom this in, let's see what that level is. Essentially, it's the 497 on the intraday high, and here's that 492. That we need to see. So if we could get back up, above this this level here, this 497. So maybe then might set up this sort of like a a higher high type of a zigzag, and then we need to see this coming back up at this particular pivot high here, which would be somewhere around the 513, 514 area. So certainly, Apple is still trying to consolidate here. Although it is looking a little bit positive in terms of the price action, but until it gives us a clear sign that it is on a new uptrend, then the best way is probably just kind of be patient and wait. And unless you're doing some intraday trading, then then you would probably go and do that on Apple. But if we are trying to set up some kind of swing trade, I think right now it's still a little bit too early for that. And on Facebook, actually Facebook, we finally see a week that Facebook has pulled back a little bit. You can see this week here, last week it pulled back a little bit after 6 consecutive up week. So Facebook been pretty strong, but right now it's, on a daily, it seems to be, simply just kind of consolidating down here. So I wouldn't be, thinking about shorting Facebook yet. But definitely, this might not be a good area to go initiate some new long because it is kind of a little lofty up here. I would like to see it maybe possibly pull back and fill this gap here and possibly get down to somewhere around this 46 area. Then that would be a pretty good location to consider looking for some sort of a swing long trigger or some sort of setup. Because here's the 20 EMA is somewhere around this 47 level, and there's a little support here somewhere around this 45, 46 area, the upper 45. So might be looking for that. But certainly, Facebook, ever since this earning gap here, has been trending nicely. Right now, it's definitely, if we don't believe Facebook could go any higher, definitely I wouldn't be shorting this guy as yet because until the trend is reversed, it's a pretty bad idea, in my opinion. That's just my opinion to try to short this guy here right now. So, and then if we take a look at Netflix, again, Netflix is continue to defy just like Facebook. The previous week we got a little down week here, and then it resumed on an up week once again, and that was 2, 4, 6, 7. After 7 consecutive up week, got a little down week, and then now it's come back up for another up week. So once again, if those people were trying to short this this guy, is basically is paying a little price for that. Right now, we're still seeing a nice upward trend, and definitely wouldn't be go shorting this guy, even though that it might hitting some resistance, maybe getting a little bit too too lofty. But again, on these momentum stock, you don't want to go against it unless you see it reverse. It's the same thing here. You see this, back. If the people were shorting it down here, it certainly wasn't a good idea. To try to short the stock over here or over here until you see that actually break, and then it come back up, and it just won't be able to test these, get up to these level. Then essentially it just break and come up, and then this is when you want to short this. When you see that a little bit of a confirmation that the trend have changed, and also got below some of these moving averages. But right now it's still hovering above this 50-day, and the price is riding above all the moving averages. So that's not a good idea to try to go and short this guy unless you're basically just doing some intraday or very short-term trading. And Google, I was saying, Google could be in trouble because there are a little problem here. Just can't get above this this pivot point here that we're talking about. And right now it seems to be coming down once again. So we might be looking at something of a some sort of a head and shoulder, at least coming down to this 200-day moving average, whereas near this point here, somewhere around the 835 level, which is also close to this particular baseline, this support pivot. So certainly Google hasn't been performing well, even though that it's holding up. It seems like it's just sort of setting up for some kind of little dip, or at least come back down to test this 850 level. So certainly you might want to just hold back and either go long or go short on Google. And like I said, it's kind of neutral right now to do anything with Google. And then on Amazon just keep on going. Like again, on these stocks, you just cannot go against the trend. And you see that even though that it is, getting up to this level here on this trend line, but it just continued to move up, and the momentum is still there to, look like it could get up to this 330, 325 area. And then Tesla Motor, again, Tesla Motor is similar to Netflix. You see that it got a big down week last week, but it came back up nicely after it came down to this 167, 168 level, and it held its ground. Here's the low on that. That was the day after the fire. That fire that was kind of reported on that video, and that's 168. But last Friday it bounced back, quite nicely. Even though you're still within this trend line here. And again, like I said, if the stock is still trending, you just cannot go against the trend. you look, dip down to that 20 EMA and bounce right back real quickly, so because it found some support down here, there seems to be some support down at that pivot. So again, these momentum stock, even though, yeah, I'm saying this like a hockey stick, but still, until it reverses the trend, you just don't want to go against the trend, with the momentum. It's just like, you try to go against a freight train, that is running right at you. And then looking at Lincoln is also seems to be consolidating up here. Right? It seems to be consolidating somewhere around here. So again, it's a little bit tricky right now to get in on Lincoln until it's it break above this maybe the 260 level, 258. See what's the high on that. Yeah, essentially that's the 257.56. So it's somewhere around the 258, and kind of pay attention to this trend line here or near this the support level here, near the 50-day moving average. But definitely you want to watch out for this gap. If it come down and fill this gap or dip into the gap zone, then you definitely got to be careful on that. It could be easily come down and fill this gap and possibly get down to this support level here. This particular pivot, so that could get it down to 200. So, but if we could get back up above the 250, 258 or so, then it could be setting up for another run, because it seems like it's setting up a little bit of a consolidation flag here. And let's see, let's take a look at Soda. That's one of these Chinese internet stock, I believe. And again, you look at this, it's essentially, coming up to this multi-year high here near the 80. And on the weekly chart, you can see that it's trending nicely. It's coming up. So, and who knows, maybe it could come up to test this 70 mark. It's certainly got a nice little bounce of this trend line, which is also near these support area. Right, so I'll be keeping an eye on that, on the Soda, and play it up to the 70 and possibly get up to this 78 to the 80 level from the previous high back at 2011, which is somewhere around 79.64. 79.72, so it's up in the 79 area. And the other one is YOKU. YOKU, look, again, you look at YOKU is trying to get to this multi-year level here, which is somewhere around the 33, right? And it's been trending nicely ever since that it came off of this, this particular bottom here, right? So, it's kind of, getting up here, and you can see that these, climbing on this trend line here, and essentially got a little price channel going. So it could get up to this 32, 33 level, but right now it's a little bit of a tricky to try to get in on a long. But if you have a long position, then certainly, just ride it up and trail your stop to protect some of your profit, because you see it kind of broke through this particular level here, 26, 25, 27 area. So look for this as a potential price target somewhere around the 33 area. And let's see, we'll take a look at Priceline. Priceline is a stock that went to $1,000, but of course, I was brought to my the attention that this stock have a reverse split a couple of years ago. I believe it was I'm not sure what the ratio is. If it did not have that reverse split, it would not have been come up this $1,000 mark. So this is not a true $1,000 stock, because it's not one of those that just keep on going up without doing a reverse split. So, but in regardless, the trend is still up. It continued to move up here, and also again, it seems like it's setting a little flag here. Although it got 5 consecutive up week already, so maybe it's due for a little pullback. So certainly, if you're long on this one, then just kind of trail your stop and protect some of your profit. I wouldn't be initiating new long up here at this lofty area. So I'd be waiting for some kind of pullback and maybe see if we could test this particular support down here. Then look for potential, long setup if the trend holds up. And let's take a look at some of the ETF or the market indexes. First of all, is the spider. You can see the spider, right? Still trending on these nice long trend line here, and the price channel So even though the market kind of pulled back a little bit, but you see it's kind of holding up at this pivot here. A lot of people is looking to maybe possibly come down to this 163 area, but never know. It could be reversing next week if we get this clown show at Washington, come to an end and they get some resolution there. We might get a little pop here on the market, and then maybe it would take out this particular, all-time high here. And same thing with the diamond. The Dow Jones seems to be a little bit more weaker of all the index, but again, it's still holding up and still kind of contain itself within this rising price channel. Although it dipped below the 50-day moving average with a little, this 10-week kind of curving down, with essentially this 50-day moving average, and also we got this, prices under the 20 EMA and the 50-day moving average, but it's still holding about this 200-day, which is somewhere down here, at this these pivot level here, right? So as long as it holds this support here, and we are still, sort of holding up this, low, a higher low and a higher high, right? So if we could get that, still, classify that as sort of a rising trend. But even though, you look at this, let's take a look at this thing here, and if we, it's because this right here, we could see, looking at this particular trend line here, sort of still kind of holding up that support. So definitely the market, although we saw a little bit of weakness in the last couple of weeks for the Dow, but the trend is still, on a rising trend until it starts breaking some of these major support level. But and then you look at the Q, the Nasdaq 100 is really been strong and it's continued to rise, within this particular channel here, and this seems to indicate there's more upside to go here, and you can see that it could easily get up to this possibly this 83 area. And then also on the Russell 2000, the ETF for the Russell 2000, once again, is still well contained within this particular price channel, although it is getting near to the upper band of this price channel, hitting the upper trend line. But wouldn't be surprised to see this get up to that 110 area. It too been holding up this support level. Be very surprised, I said, to see it come back down to this 100. At this particular time, maybe it could come down to this, 104 area and possibly test that essentially near the 50-day moving average. And then finally, looking at the TLT, the bond ETF for the, and you see that there's came down and found this support here, and it's kind of right now it seems to be, breaking above this particular pivot, although that seems like we are getting a little rally on the bond, but I'd be surprised to see it would go any higher than this 110. I think that will be the key level for it to test to see can it get up to this 110 and get back above it. Essentially, this particular pivot here, because right now we're essentially, still pretty much looking at this as a maybe just a dead cat rally or something, from the oversold. Bond here, because right now it's essentially booked this, this particular support here, and wouldn't be surprised to see it come back down to this somewhere around this 98 level, and then maybe take it down below the 95. So those are the stuff to keep an eye on in the coming week. Certainly, there's still a lot of good action in the market, even though there's a lot of people is talking about. The market might be heading down and also all those things. But don't trade the news or opinion. Just trade what you see on the price action. And, and with that said, hope everybody's enjoying their weekend and good luck with your trading next week.